In this video, I will show you how to put together this strawberry cake card, which is a box card from Simply Crafty SVGs. So we're going to go ahead and start with some piecing and then putting the candles together on this little insert. So we're going to go ahead and piece this together. Actually, we also want this. Let's just put this up here. We're going to put some of the strawberries on that after. So we're going to go ahead and I already did these two, but this little one, there's 3 of these. I'm using textured cardstock, so just make sure that you use, put glue on the non-textured side if you're using textured cardstock. So the reason I made that is that I really like strawberry pies, but I don't get them as much now than I moved, but that's the reason why I made these. So I'll put all those 3 together, and we're going to put these big ones. So let's just move that up for a moment. So after we get these, we'll layer it. So I tend to want to do my piecing first. So you want to add glue to the pieces with the holes in it, so you can add glue appropriately. Make sure it's going the same direction. There we go. I like to line it up. I have a little glue coming through, but just going to dab that with a damp cloth. And then for this one, let's go ahead and take one of these that we just pieced together. They're all 3 the same size, so you didn't have to think about it. So these 3 little singular strawberries are all the same size. Let's go ahead and place this. Now this card does come with 2 printable sentiments, and of course you can put whatever you'd like on it. So again, I'm just focusing and getting the glue in between the little holes. Make sure if you have textured cardstock that you go ahead and you want it to show through the holes there. You don't need to use textured cardstock. I just like American Crafts. I like Encore too, which is by 12 by 12 cardstock. So this too, we're going to go ahead and put these other 2 strawberries. Like that. I had to angle it to make sure it lines up right at the top there. But it's starting at the bottom will be easier. And line that up there. And I just double check on the back to make sure the top's lined up. That's the easiest way, is to flip that over. We'll put those on in a minute. It goes on 2 pieces. So here we have the candles. So it doesn't matter which one you put on first. And these would look good if like, I may have to add a little ink to the edge of this. You can do it before or after, really, to give it a little orange to it. Oops, just make sure it's in the right place here. So this has piecing. Just make sure you just line them up. Usually take a prominent part of it, like the point on this one, to line it up. So I wanted to add a couple more birthday cards to the site, because it's always, when you want just a generic birthday card, you want a variety. And it does help to have, when you're doing these little fine glue pieces here, a fine tip applicator. And you can always brush it on too if you're using a different kind of glue. But this is barely our glue, and it comes with these little tips. So when you put this on, you want to line these ends up at the top right here. So just line those corners to the corners right there. So they're all going to go like that, so you can see how it's lined up. So it creates a little ellipse there at the top. Try not to get glue on the other side if you can help it. So it just lines like that. And we'll get this last one on. So the card goes together pretty quick after this. I'm making sure I'm putting glue on the right side. And if you do like this project, I ask you to like this video, and or I always appreciate if you subscribe. You can hit that little bell to the right and subscribe, and you'll be notified if and when we have new videos. So that finishes that one off. So we'll put the strawberries on. These 3 strawberries go here. That's another insert. That's the front insert. And they go upside down. And just line it up at the top. Again, flipping it over will help you line it up. I just kind of feel around the edges to make sure it's lined up properly. I didn't get the other piece. Let me get that. So we got those 2. Now this one, we'll put these little 5 strawberries. That. Just making sure they're lined up again. And eventually, we're not going to do it right now, but eventually we'll put this on top like that. But we can go ahead and piece this together. So if you get this piece, we'll do these all at once.
Go.
Let's go ahead and do this one. Indecision. It's a fairly quick card. You want it to line up at the top, and also you'll notice on the left, if you see that white kind of comes out a little bit, that's because of this top one. That's one of the reasons why we can't put it on before we assemble the card, because it will be hard to fold. And then we'll go ahead, and this has little, always double check to make sure I'm not on the non-texture side of my paper. Can line that up. Like that. So we're going to put aside this piece after we're done. So you can see it's pretty simple so far. So I'm going to put that over to the side. And then we'll take this piece and put this chocolate frosting piece on each side. So we can do this one because it lays flat and doesn't, whenever an element overlaps the score on a card like this, you need to put it on last. But normally I don't do anything with that. Usually my sides are not like that. Just the front. Making sure. Then we'll do the second one. So it should just fit right up there on the sides. Then we can put these little, you can either put a line of glue down here, don't make it too thick, and place it like that. So make sure it doesn't go over the scores. It just should be right in between and line up at the bottom. Or you can put it on the actual piece like this. I just find sometimes I accidentally drop items with glue on it. So I tend to put glue on the item I'm going to glue on, just to avoid that. So now we've got all these created. And we have this back piece. We also have these little printed sentiments. So I'm just going to pick one and put one on. But you don't have to use these. I just wanted to include some. I don't always include words, but on this one I did. So now we're going to go ahead and put together the card. So make sure you, if you haven't already folded these, which I should have told you to do that before, make sure they have good crisp edges, and you can use a bone tool similar to this for that. And then on the actual items. So the way it's going to go is like this. Like that. These are going to go up higher. Yeah. I'll show you in a moment. So that's a preview of the front without that panel. So when it comes to putting this together, again, we're not going to put this on until later, but we need this and this piece. So we're going to go ahead and add glue to this right tab. Really doesn't matter. The concept's the same whether it's right or left. I want the texture side inside. It really doesn't make that big of a difference, but it's easier if you're going to write on the back. At least it's easier to write on non-textured. That's kind of my thought process. And really, you're not going to see the back of the card anyways, the back, inside back. But I do that way because it's just easier to write on the back. That's an option for you. You don't have to. So we're going to go ahead and we'll start on the, I'm going to see which side I want to do it on first. If I do it that way, I think I'll do it on the right side. There's a reason why I was thinking about that. So you want to fold these ones, the red one, you want to fold them forward. So that's a valley fold as opposed to a mountain fold, which would be back. So it's a valley and then mountains like that. So we're going to go ahead and add glue. So we're upside down, right? So there's the front. We want that to go that way. So that's why when you're looking at it in the front of it, we're going to put glue on the left side, but upside down it's the right side, not on the back. So we're going to go ahead. So we don't want it low, we want it up here. So you want to go as high as you can go without this going over that edge. So it can be a little bit under, and you want to also get this edge close, close to this fold, like that, but not over it. So we're going to fold it over, make sure it looks pretty straight across, and I'm just kind of eyeballing it to see if it's equidistant all the way over there. So I have glue on my fingertips. Then we'll go ahead and this one's folded back. So when I'm looking at it, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put it on the left hand side tab when I'm looking at it. But upside down, it's the right hand side. So I want it upside down. And now I'm going to put glue on top. And this is just spacers. So that just spaces it from that to that. And we're going to space it now from the back. So we're going to go flat, and you can put it about if you line this up similar to or even a little bit lower, I'm going to line it up right with the bottom edge of this. I want it back a little bit. Sorry about that. So you want it closer to this tab and then line it up. So you're putting both of these right under the edge of this right here, but on this side. So now I'm just going to fold it over like that. So this is what it's looking like. Fold it down. So we want to fold it over like that so you see this part. And then we'll continue gluing it. So this still has to glue under like that. Let's see if you can see that. I'm going to fold it down. Oops. And it should go right into place. We're just making sure it's straight across. So you can see it's not above this little edge. This is why it's important to get a nice crisp edge on your tabs. And then we'll go ahead and put glue on that. And we're just going to glue it flat. I'm kind of adjusting it to make sure it's straight across. Kind of the same distance. And you can judge it based on the bottom of the other one too. Make sure it's not, if you're a little off, it's not going to be a big difference, but you just do not want these down because you need them up towards the top. So you don't want them to line up with this, but you want them to line up with each other towards the top and then together at the bottom. And then we'll just fold this over like that.
Oops.
We're going to add glue to this tab and then fold it over. And it should line right up, but sometimes you have to adjust it a little bit to get that bottom part to line up. If your machine is a little bit off with the scores, and that sometimes happens with the scores on Cricut, with the Cricut tools, then that could cause some issues. So there we go. So the last thing we need to do, and I tend to keep it folded to the same side. You don't have to go back and forth. I know you can, but since I mostly fold it to the left, that's where I'm going to keep it. I already have some good folds to the left. So we're going to go ahead and place this here. So what we want to do is line up these sides right here. So when we line this up, we're going to line it up at the bottom, and we're going to make sure that that side lines up. So this will come a little bit out. And the same thing over here. You want it to line up right at the score. So if you want to add glue on this, you can, but you don't want to add it on the outside edges. So if you want to go inside, you can. Or you can just do it on this.
Good.
So again, I'm going to line up at the bottom, and then right what I'm focusing in is right this little section right there. Let's do it in the bottom. Since the glue is wet, gives me a little wiggle room. So this is overlapping a little bit over here and overlapping there. That's why we couldn't put it on earlier. Get it nice and so it's just a cute little strawberry card, and you can have the place to write on the back. It does fit into a standard A7 envelope, which we have freebies out there for our envelopes. So I'm just going to go ahead and just say sweet wishes. And you can put it right here, or you can put it on the strawberries, or you can put it down here. So I'm going to go ahead and put it down here. And you could do, you could change the colors, that kind of thing on it if you like. So here's our strawberry cake card finished. As you can tell, it sits up to display and folds flat to fit into an envelope. I hope you enjoyed this project, and I thank you so much for watching.